VGRI.
I stand here today as a product of Dr. King's civil rights movement in the trenches of the battleground state of Ohio, city of Cincinnati, and the daughter of civil rights activist Dr. Stephen Reece Sr. and the late Barbara Reece, who marched for me 50 years ago.
A champion for voting rights.
We're going to bring you people that know about business. We're going to bring you people that know about what's going on.
Started with just
into this whole tech thing that's going on.
She's a fighter for the people.
Welcome, Reverend Al Sharpton, to the show.
Congratulations on your show.
She's authentic.
We're bringing Joe Madison, known as the Black Eagle.
Congratulations on having the show. Nothing is more important than the local programs that engage our communities.
She's a proud HBCU grad. It's time for Alicia Reece's Soul Food, Food for the Soul, on Cincinnati's 24-hour urban gospel connection, Inspiration 1050 AM and 103.1 FM, WGRI.
Just rocks. So we said, give us the rocks. And the rocks is now going to be an international tourism attraction.
For somebody to put some time into it like that, you got to be real. That's a big sacrifice to step out by yourself.
I dedicated 5 years in getting this to go from vision to reality. We needed to have public and private partnership.
All I saw was a bunch of rocks. I'm like, how you gonna put a Walk of Fame right here?
For 20 years, we've been trying to figure out what to do with that particular lot.
What in the world? Like, it's just rocks, Commissioner Reece.
So I'm like, what they building or what? She doing what? What is this? What is she doing?
Just listening to Alicia tell me how it's gonna be, I'm like, we can never make this happen.
Commissioner Alicia Reece had her ups and downs during this entire process. She even had to have knee surgery.
God prepared me for this journey, and I didn't even know it a long time ago.
Commissioner Reece told me, go to Kinko's and print off a flyer. And I mean, this is the morning of.
People from all over the world will come here and understand the stories behind our legends and our icons. We created the culture. It came from right here.
Boy, do I have a testimony, everybody. I want to tell you, get to the radio, get to the radio, get to the radio. Tell all your friends and family, get to the radio. I got a testimony of what God can do and has done. And I am a living miracle witness right now being in this studio. So y'all get to the radio, share on your social media. We got an action-packed show, and I'm talking about some real hot sauce. We're going to talk property taxes. If you're tired of the high property taxes, get to the radio, share this. We're going to talk about affordability. Everybody's struggling right now, trying to make these ends meet, and the ends are not meeting. Get to the radio, and then we're going to talk about how you got to have your health first. You can do all these things without your health. You have no wealth. And I'm going to share with you all for the first time publicly what happened to me out of the blue, and God let me sit here today. But first, we're going to go to sunny Orlando, Florida, and wish I could be there. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. The doctor's orders, I won't be able to fly, but and be with my brother. But I want to take it to Coach Steve Reece. who is one of the top coaches in the nation, got picked as one of the top coaches in the nation, has won state championship down in Florida, has the Florida Rebels, one of the top AAU EYBL, which is high competition Nike circuit basketball, has tons of players that have gone on and are playing right now in college on scholarships, including my nephew, his son, Jalen Reece with LSU, that is undefeated. So, but we have the Breast Cancer Awareness Classic in honor that he created in honor of our mother who passed away to breast cancer. Coach, how we looking down there? We're getting ready for the Breast Cancer BCA Classic.
Hey, how you doing? Yes, we excited. This year gonna be another good year. A lot of top teams, a lot of the top kids throughout the country. Is gonna be in attendance, so I'm excited. We got every year we play the smoke, so we got a big time matchup with Edgewater. Um, we're both two of the top teams in the state, so I'm looking forward to that matchup too tomorrow night. And, we put this classic together in honor of our mom, and we want the city give the city what they want. So I'm excited about all the matchups once again that we have, and should be a great event for a great purpose.
It's a great purpose that I remember big down there. You donate money back to the school, back to kids. There was one time a teacher that was going through breast cancer, and you were able to honor her, the kids with Nike and the pink shoes that everyone had, and just basically a lot. Some of the students that played in the past classics, they had family members who were affected by breast cancer or going through it, and so it's a top-notch competition game, but it's also bringing awareness, you've had it streamed in the past with the network. It's
SUVTV,
just been
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, with SUV TV this year, we're doing Baller TV, and we also give back to the Cancer Foundation. Last year we gave back to the Jimmy V Foundation. We're gonna do that once again, and cancer affects not just our family, but families all across the country. So this something that I'm super passionate about. Been passionate about it since day one because it's actually my lane. We all have our own lane that we honor our mom and this, and we all come together and support it and go hard.
Yeah,
Man, we're gonna do something, we're gonna go hard at it. So that's the Reese way. So this event is grown tremendously.
yes, it is.
College coaches from all over the country, kids that came and got scholarships at this event. Can't forget, somebody was just asking me if we're gonna have the mac and cheese. So we're gonna have that soul food in the coaches and VIP lounge.
Got the
So
best VIP lounge because they're there with soul food, and my sister-in-law, Karen Reese, the soul food tradition. And they usually have pizza in those things, but now we coming in, you got the soul food coaches from all over. I said,
yes.
where the coaches at? They're in there getting the macaroni and cheese.
And I just had a college coach call me today, like, "Hey, I'm coming to the event, but hey, one question: you gonna have them ribs and that macaroni and cheese in there?" So I got you.
And like you said, it's come a long way from your vision. You had this vision, and I remember, we were coming down all the time. We were working the concessions. I did my first podcast outside the studio was down in Orlando, Florida, at Oak Ridge High School. We'll replay that. And I was interviewing you about the concept, and now you've gone from the concept to this is one of the most anticipated classics in Florida and in the country.
No, definitely, and it's something that we created, but I kind of duplicated because I watched my dad and mom throw events when we were younger. We was working it. Um, Used to help out. Used to be in the way, sweep the floors when they were doing big time events. Black college classics, high school classics with some of the top teams. So stuff that I didn't just create it, but kind of duplicated it and took it and put my kind of spin on it. But it's something that my mom and dad been doing. Our mom and dad been doing since we were kids. So
Yeah,
you know,
keeping the
we
legacy going. They did a lot, like you said, with Communiplex Sports and basketball, the classics, the Martin Luther King classics, all those things, and you've taken them and put your own mix to it and taken and expanded because you're doing it Operation Step Up as well, and all the scholarships that kids are going to school. Real quick, Florida Rebels. I saw you had there was a graphic that showed all these young men that come out of your AAU program, Florida Rebels, Operation Step Up, Coach Steve Reece. Tell us some of the teams that they're on. These that came out of your program. They started as eighth graders and seventh graders, and now they're in college right now, and some of the top teams in the whole country.
no, yeah, fourth graders. We've been having them.
Fourth graders.
We've been blessed to keep our guys truly a family, and it's been actually an honor to sit at home and watch them guys. The other night I was just talking like every channel for the ACC SEC challenge at 7:30. Every channel we had at least one kid playing on that station on all the ESPN networks. That either played at the high school or played in the travel program, and I was like, man, like just to sit back and reflect, like that we're making an impact all across the country, and that's been a blessing. Like every night, we got kids on the tube playing, and very rarely we got kids as freshmen out there getting clocked on the biggest stage. So you know we're doing a good job. Myself, my coaches, and everybody that's touching these kids, we're doing an amazing job keeping this thing going.
Well, I know I watched my nephew, your son, you coached him, LSU, they're undefeated. Everybody wants to know how he's doing. Coach, he's been doing amazing. I've been watching him on the big, it just makes me want to cry to see him, be able to play on this big stage with LSU and be just a freshman.
Yeah, nah, it's been good to see him and watch him, and he's happy. Like any freshman, you got to get used to not being the man, being out there. Everybody, the man that's at that stage was the man in high school. So being able to grow and learn, and he's playing well. He's playing well, and I would say this is different as a dad than just a coach, because like the parent side kick in sometimes, but like if anybody have a kid out there that's playing ball, no matter what level, the biggest thing you can do is support them and keep their mental sane, because everything is not going to go the way that us as parents want it to go. But the biggest thing is the end goal. You know what I mean? Like it's a marathon. Like, yeah, we want our kids out there playing 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Yes, they're good enough, but it might not be their time right now. But keeping him locked in, staying in the gym, because these are all life lessons. Like you don't get a job and start as the CEO. You know what I mean? When you first take a job with no experience. You know what I mean? So as parents, we got to support, and we can't be the ones that's getting them rattled, because it's already tough being in that new position. So as parents with kids in college, we gotta support them. And if you can't take it, go off the grid for a minute, because the last thing he needs is us going crazy. So
Right.
he had a really good game, and yeah, I think he had like 13 and 6,
Yeah.
um, and been playing well, playing solid, and that's all we can ask for. He's safe, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like hey, I ain't got to pay for school, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, hey, so
You're
life is
already winning.
yeah, life is good, life
Life
is
is
good.
good.
So yeah,
And,
so he's
and you
happy, and
a lot of your players do that. Your record, unbelievable. 97, 98% of your players going on playing in college, and they're on some big time teams. So just want to congratulate you again. Tell everybody what time Saturday does everything begin, and how can they watch online? You said Baller TV.
yeah, the BCA Classics on Baller TV. It starts at 12:30, two big time matchups. With Jones' rival game, Jones and Leesburg, probably going to be a Final Four matchup. And it ends at the last game is at 6:30. So tune in, Baller TV, and I appreciate you having me.
All right, we appreciate you, Coach Steve Reece. Tune in, you guys. BCA Breast Cancer Awareness Classic. All right, I wanted to make sure I get that in. Coming up, I've got two special guests. We're going to talk about property taxes, but first, I want to just quickly some things I think is important. We want to give a big congratulations to Rob Williams. Big congratulations to Rob Williams from Fox 19, and our show is right above Fox 19. This is where our studios are, WGRI, and I want to thank everybody listening to us on 103.1 FM and 1050 AM. Thank y'all so much for listening. At the same time, we're on our social media platforms, Alicia Reece Soul Food, on all the different platforms. And so we're asking everybody to also share. But Rob Williams was on our show. Dr. Reece had his birthday, 78th birthday, and Rob Williams stopped by. And so I don't know if we have that photo, but if we do, we'd like to put it up. But congratulations again, Rob Williams, 30 years at Fox 19, WXIX. Fox 19, WXIX. All right. We also want to give a big shout out. We honored WNBA great Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, all-star WNBA player right here from Hamilton County. And I was happy to be able to present a proclamation to her. Woodlawn did an excellent job. Shout out to Mayor Poole and everybody that was involved. But she's got a toy drive coming up. It's going to be this Saturday. A toy drive this Saturday at the Woodlawn Recreation Center. So encouraging everyone to stop by that as well. So wanted to make sure you stop by. Now, we're going to talk about property taxes. You've heard a lot about it. You get your bill in the mail. We've heard the horror stories. We've seen it. One gentleman, they did a story on him and how his property taxes had jumped. They jumped by 200%. He has a house in Madisonville. He worked his whole life, but now after his retirement check comes in and he pays the property taxes, he only has $40 left. Now that has to cover his phone bill, his keep the lights on, gas and electric bill, that has gone up, his water bill, his sewer bill, all that has to be covered, not let alone if he has some medicine that he has to do, or if God forbid he's got to go to the doctor for his checkups because he's 73 years old, because there's copays. Most of the copays are $20, $40. Lord forbid they say you got to go get some medicine because you got to pay something on the medicine. So he is saying, I don't know what to do. I thought I did everything right. Why would he be punished? Why would our seniors and veterans and middle-class families are struggling out here? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not perfect. I never said I was. I don't want to be. My spiritual religion says perfection is not attainable. It's not going to be attainable. I believe in Jesus, the only perfect. I can't be perfect. I won't be perfect. I'm out here like everybody else, and I'm glad because when I go and fight for people, I can tell you it's rough out here. I know it's not a cliche. So property taxes, we know that the state of Ohio, they kind of control everything. But at the county level, people went to the polls and they voted. And when they voted to create two stadiums. That means you said, I'll go up on my sales tax. But it was advertised, I wasn't in office then, but it was advertised that if you vote for this, you as a homeowner, whether you a Bengal fan or not a Bengal fan, whether you like football or baseball, if you never step foot in these stadiums, you're in the deal. You're going to get a 30% rebate on the Hamilton County sales tax portion of it. So that's how a lot of people went running and going with it. And so once it got passed, like a lot of times, they hoping that you went to sleep. They kept the promises of the stadiums. Every week there's something we got to pay for, we got to do, we got to own. We just did a quote unquote new bingo deal because the old bingo deal went expired. But in the new bingo deal, the reason I could not accept it is because this one was even worse because it left out any possibility of the homeowner getting the 30% that you voted on. And so every year we have to vote on it. It has to be done by, I think, December 2nd. They always wait to the last second to do it. And so we had a vote and they went with 4%. Okay, 4%. When you were supposed to be getting 30. And then tried to blame the homeowners because I had pushed for 2 times to get the 30. I pushed 4 times, but I got 2 of it done because of, they said, I pushed for it and we got it passed. One of my colleagues said, you're gonna bankrupt the fund. Never did say the Bengals gonna bankrupt the fund. Never said go say the homeowners are gonna bankrupt the fund. And we have 2 sets of rules at the county that I'm seeing. Whenever there's big projects, whether it's stadiums, whether it's we're gonna redo the banks area, that's 800 million. 350 million for the Bengals plus interest. We always find the money. It's like a rabbit in the hat. They find the money. We found it. We got to do it. It's got to be progress. We'll make it work. But when it comes to you, the homeowner, getting a break, they say tough luck is irresponsible. And I'm just telling you, I'm like you all, I'm not buying it. And someone asked me, I did an interview, they said, who should we believe? We got one commissioner saying it's going to be bankrupt. We got you who's saying that, wait a minute, they have the money. They should prioritize the homeowners. Who do we believe? I'm telling you, look at your bill and it'll tell you who you should believe. On top of that, they also are looking at if you want to sell your home in the budget, they want to now add a cost for you selling. If you sell your home. In addition, in the budget, they're also looking at going up on your sewer rate. They went up by 4% last year, another 4% this year. That's 8% in 2 years total. So at a time when we need things to go down, at a time when you're looking for a break, whether it's at Kroger's for 10% off, 5% off, you use your little Kroger card, get something off on your gas, at a time when you're looking to get a break because you can't afford it, Hamilton County dropped the ball. Now they'll tell you, oh, go upstate. They got a bill. They working on their air. Yeah, man. They also said go upstate and we go get some money for the stadium. And they ran up there and we came back with $0 and Cleveland got $600 million. So that's what the state will do for you. But your bill is due January. It'll be coming out. So I wanted to bring some experts because most of the time they say, go get the experts in this field. And I thought it was strange that they did this without getting the experts that do this. And so I want to welcome to our show Mary Hundlinger and Heather Koff from the Realtor Alliance of Greater Cincinnati. They represent thousands of members that do this every day. They look at the market. They understand the market. They understand that this also affects renters because landlords pass the cost on. So I wanted to bring them on because they tried to warn Hamilton County. They tried to come and testify. And it was interesting that they had the testimony and the vote on the same day. So are you really listening? If you got the people talking on the same day, you're already going to vote. But we fought like crazy. And I want to say that this group, we fought last time. We were victorious. We were able to get the 30%. And we still have some fights ahead of us. But I want to welcome both of you to the program. And I want to start with you, Mary. This is bad news. You're supposed to get 30 and they only give you 40. And they only give you 4. You're supposed to get 30. I say they're 26% short.
Yeah. I hate to say it's like a slap in the face for homeowners, but it's really not just a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2-3 punch. You know, homeowners had to deal with the property assessment last year with big tax increases, and then we get this rejection of property tax relief this year, and then turn around 3 days later and they're like, oh yeah, we also want to increase the tax on the sale of your home or any property that you own. And so it's 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 gross that they're focusing on such a small segment of all economic possible economic contributors to this situation as a possible solution. And Heather, who is a realtor and a broker, has tons of stories of people who just can't continue to absorb these types of increases or lack of relief, especially in today's economy.
Absolutely. It seems like they're making the homeowner the bad guy, but then say we're for affordable. How are we for affordable housing and we're making it unaffordable for the people to keep the house they already have? Heather, I mean, you're out here. I think, were you at the meeting, Heather?
I was at the meeting, and
Yes,
I
you
plan to go
testified at the
again on
meeting.
Tuesday.
Tell us, Heather, what's going
Yes,
on out here?
it's really just a shame. It feels like the county is putting the burden of balancing the budget all on the homeowners. And we have resources at our association level, access to grants. We can try to help solve this issue with a more multi-pronged approach and having options outside of just taxing homeowners. But that has not been met with any engagement, and I think that's really frustrating on our end. And what we're seeing in the field, Commissioner Reece, is that literally homeowners across every spectrum, whether they're high-end homeowners or people just trying to get into their first home, they are facing a significant challenge with the high property taxes in Hamilton County. And I have a couple quick briefly. I have one homeowner. She was moving here from Delaware, and she was moving from Delaware. They have high property taxes in Delaware. She was looking to buy a home. Her price level was at $300,000, which right now average home sale in our greater Cincinnati region is upwards of $340,000. So there's not a whole lot of properties that are available at that $300,000 price point. And so that was already stretched when the inventory is slim, but she could not afford to purchase in Hamilton County because of the property taxes. She was forced to go out to Claremont County to be able to purchase a home at the level of the $300,000 price point, but keep the property taxes within a manageable budget. She was looking across the river in northern Kentucky because their property taxes are much lower, and she had to look specifically outside of Hamilton County to be able to achieve home ownership. That is not the message that we want to send to people moving to Cincinnati or trying to live and engage in the Hamilton County boundaries. And then on a different level, I had clients who just relocated here, more of a corporate higher end relocation client from Louisville, Kentucky. And they had a very healthy budget, but they were shocked at the property taxes in Hamilton County and ended up purchasing up north in the Deerfield Township area outside of Hamilton County because they could not believe at the similar price point in Louisville, Kentucky versus the same price point here, how significantly different the taxes were. And if you look at Louisville, that is a similar size Midwest metro city. And our taxes should not be that different here in Hamilton County than they are in other neighboring Midwest cities. It's discouraging for people to want to come and move to Hamilton County when the taxes are outrageous.
We're talking property taxes because we hear a lot about it. And a lot of times people don't realize until they get the bill. They don't know, like when we're debating the issue or when we're getting ready to vote on the issue, and then they get the bill and say, oh my God. And I have seen people get on the elevator to go pay their property taxes. A senior citizen, she broke down into tears. I have heard from people just all over. It's affecting everyone if you're trying to hold on to your house. And it affects people obviously as they're moving into getting new homes and new product, but your alliance, you have an alliance, and tell us, Mary. Now you sent this in to all three commissioners because we can't talk to each other except at the meeting, and you provided this information. You had over 7,500 members, diverse
collectively.
realtors. Uh, you all as realtors in the Realtist, a Black
Yeah.
Realtist organization. Everybody that you all pay taxes, and you're trying to tell us that, hey guys, the market can't handle it, the people can't handle it, they're at a breaking point. So tell us about that, Mary, in terms of the different coalition of people, because people say, oh, it's just Commissioner Reese is talking about this is not true.
No, 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 no. I mean, it's really astounding. I mean, obviously, Realtists and the Realtor Alliance are a collective of real estate agents who help current and future homeowners, but we also have engaged with the home builders of Greater Cincinnati, the Real Estate Investors Association of Greater Cincinnati, the Women's Council of Realtors, and then commercial agents. And we also have been talking with builders who are very interested and developers in this matter. And as you mentioned earlier, while the issue is not new, the timing has kind of shifted a little bit. And so it's presented a challenge for us getting everyone aligned. But the one constant is that everyone is surprised that the commissioners are actually considering these the transfer tax, we call it the home sales tax, really, is even considering this. And I wanted to point something out that Heather mentioned earlier that I thought was fascinating, is that her client who moved here from Delaware and had to buy a property in Claremont County has the maxed out transfer tax at 4, and it was still cheaper for her to buy a home in Claremont County than Hamilton County, who has the 1 mil transfer. Just think about that for a second. Like, that doesn't add up. And so when we start to really look at the economic impact, not of each individual person and their families, but the collective impact of all of our friends, families, and neighbors, and how they're struggling to make ends meet, we have to take a look at the overall economic performance of Hamilton County. And these types of tax strategies of taxing homeowners has a really negative long-term impact on the possibility of us staying not only financially viable as a competitive area to live, but also even just keeping its residents here. People are going to start moving. And we're already starting to see the great flight into Claremont County, into Warren County, and Butler County. And we're guessing that this is only going to increase that transition, unfortunately. And so when we talk to the realtors, when we talk to the home builders, when we talk to the Women's Council and the commercial agents, and the real estate investment groups, they are seeing these same trends. And each of these groups have just heartbreaking stories about members, friends, and family who are really just struggling to make ends meet. And then they turn around and are faced with this paltry 4.5% rebate, and then layer that on top of with another increase in the transfer tax. It's amazing to me.
No, absolutely. And the other thing we talk about, transferring wealth, particularly one of the issues in the Black community is, if you have this home, grandma has this home, or family member has this home, and maybe they buy it so that they can maybe one day have passed it down, and it could be sold and be wealth. And now you're cutting the wealth because
Yeah.
now you're going to make it more expensive for them to sell the home. And I've just found that just amazing, because one, your property taxes will go up because you were getting a 30% last year rebate. Now you're only getting 4%.
Yep.
So now we're causing property taxes to be higher this year than it was last year. And then secondly, if you want to sell, you now will have, they want to hit you with a tax increase on selling your home. And
Yep.
so it's just, to me, it doesn't have the right messaging. And then we jump up and say, we're for affordable housing. Affordable housing
Mm-mm.
is more than ribbon cuttings on new developments. It's
Yeah.
also, we got to help folks stay in the house that they already have. And also it drives up foreclosures and those kind of things. So now you're losing wealth, and
Yep.
particularly in these in the Black community and marginalized communities, you're losing wealth because now they can take your home and then they put it in a land bank that pays no taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, to me, the biggest slap in the face. And I'm just so it's the wrong message. It's going backwards. And I want to thank your organizations because you guys are in it. You and the realtors, y'all are in this. Y'all know this. And it just
Yeah.
amazes me that the people who know it, yeah, all of a sudden this time we don't want to hear from the experts. We're just going to do whatever. And it's just amazing because a lot of the projects that we move forward with, new projects, they all are what? Tax exempt. They don't bring in any taxes. We're talking about this, where the Millennium Hotel used to be. And yes, I love ice skating. I love different things, but you're putting something there that doesn't pay taxes. The Millennium wasn't the best, but it paid its property taxes. So we need to but now you're going to make it up by going up on the taxes of the homeowners out here who have been just trying to have their little piece of American dream. And so taxes, the headline, one of them, and I think it read this way, it should be taxes will go up. Property taxes are going up because we didn't make the 30% this year. We only did 4. We're not bankrupting any fund. If we can afford the stadiums, we should have thought about this. I tried to tell them before we did the stadium deal, everything got
Yeah.
to be on the table. And if it wasn't on the table, then we weren't provided the information needed. But the property owners, the homeowners, can't be just the last to be thought about.
There's a statistic that I want to share with you that I came across that I think tells a bigger story here. So in Hamilton County, a median value home about 139,000 carries a tax bill near $3,100 a year. That's a 2.3 effective tax rate, more than double the US average. Hold on, I'm not done. For many low-income households, property taxes now consume a third or more of their take-home income. That's money taken out of groceries, utilities, basic living expenses. So when we're talking about lower value homes and owners, they're paying a disproportionate amount more. Modest houses in the bottom 20% are seeing effective tax rates of 2.08% compared with an average of 1.5% for wealthier incomes.
Wow.
And that is, I think that tells the story right there very clearly about how this is a regressive tax and it's disproportionate. And they may be thinking, oh, well, we're just going to ask the home builder or homeowners to shoulder this. We'll just tack it onto their bill. But at the end of the day, they're creating a situation where people are literally having to pick whether they can afford groceries or their prescription drugs. We have Maura Black, who is our vice chair of our advocacy committee, who tells this heartbreaking story of how she has this senior woman who needed to sell her home. She spent her whole life paying for her home, doing what she needed to do to create wealth and the American dream. She was responsible. She's at a point in her life where she wanted to cash in on that equity so she could move to assisted living. And the potential buyer requested a $400 improvement before closing. And this woman was so cash strapped, she couldn't afford that. So the buyer walked away.
Wow.
So this woman lost this opportunity to sell so that she could get her equity out of the house, and move into a place where she could age with dignity. And I've heard people say, oh, well, $300, $400 is not a lot. That is so tone deaf to our friends and neighbors and family members who are living in a different income bracket than us and are experiencing life in a completely different way. And you can't disregard that. Just because you don't hear it or experience it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of people experiencing it. A lot of families are quietly trying to help each other out. We're talking people people don't understand there was damage with COVID, not just the health damage. We never talk about the economic damage. And a lot of people are still struggling to try to recover and catch up.
Yeah.
You know, we have people who have been furloughed again. And not too long ago with the government shutdown, etc. You hear companies that are laying off. You know, I just heard Verizon, get ready. I mean, these are big time executives, and you don't just get these jobs, you know, right away afterwards. So you got families who are struggling. And like you said, you look at a home and people say, well, you can get the equity out the home. You could do this. And a lot of people don't have, I just told you, this gentleman, this gentleman worked his whole life and he doesn't have but $40 left. And I know a lot of people who say, I don't have but $40. I don't have but $20 until the next check. It's more of that going on than people know about it. It's not just, oh, well, these are the people who are super low income. No, this is our used to be middle class families who are getting hit, or you get hit with some medical situation that is putting people where they have to file bankruptcy or different things. It's what's called life. It's real life problems. And I think that we're disconnected, as you said, with the policies and what's really going on out here with people's lives. You know, one thing is the policy, and they put up charts and graphs. That looks nice. But when you see a 73-year-old grown man who's worked his whole life and his house is paid off and he thought he made it, and now because of property taxes, he don't have but $40 left in his check, that's a problem. And you don't plan for these things because these are not fixed costs. And then they want you to fix up the house. You know, if you had it so long, you, like you said, you got to fix up, and you have nothing to fix up, and you're caught between a rock and a hard place. So every discount, you even hear stores now, that's why they have sign up, and if you come 5 times, you get something free. People are looking for some type of discount. And we've got to try to give them what they were told. That's my whole thing. We keep the promise with everyone else. Why can't we keep the promise of the people who actually elected us to be down there to support them? We supposed to represent them as shareholders. That's what we were elected to do. And I'm going to keep fighting. And Mary, I want to thank you and Heather for fighting. We have a public hearing coming up, our last one for the budget. And we have a budget hearing coming up. We encourage people to come out. We're going to be at the Board of Elections on Tuesday. I think we start at 6 o'clock, I believe. You can come and testify. Bring your bill. So maybe if they see your bill, they'll know that this is real business. But we're going to be fighting against that additional tax to sell your home. And we also have a petition drive because, Mary, every time this issue comes up, we only have a week or 2 weeks to get organized. It's always the last minute. And so I started a petition drive so people can hear from homeowners. So they'll say, oh, it's just you. These stories don't exist. This is not real. And so I have a petition drive, change.org. You all can look it up. Property taxes, Hamilton County. Sign this petition because it also talks about that increase on the fee. But we're going to keep this going. So next year, we already got a lot of people that said, hey, I don't want these high property taxes. And so we encourage people to do that. But Mary, you're going to be there. Your group's going to be there on Tuesday at the public hearing.
Yes, we're lining up. We're going to be there. We have the home builders, we have the commercial agents, the women's council, The whole coalition, we're working on speakers who can bring their own unique perspective on how this will impact homeowners and future homeowners. And we really appreciate you carrying the torch for all of us and watching out for us and making sure that this is an issue that's addressed fairly, equitably, and with our eyes on the future. That's what we need, is to have leadership that ensures that we're creating strategies that allow us to all stick around.
Right. Yeah. And I'm saying, let's sit down with you guys and all of the realtors who do this every day, and let's try to put something together that helps the homeowners and not, be a stick up to the homeowners, because they got a higher sewer bill getting ready to hit them. They've got, of course, their Duke Energy bill is going up. I mean, everything's going up. And we should do everything we can. It was a promise made. It should be a promise kept. We can't keep promises to some and break promises to others. You got to have one set of rules.
Well, thank you so much. And we'll see you. We'll just keep to the grind today and this weekend and Monday, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
We'll see you Tuesday. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mary and Heather, for being on the Realtor Alliance of Greater Cincinnati. And we'll see you Tuesday. All right. Well, that's the story on the property taxes. Now, I've got to share with you all the story of my own testimony. And this is a tough season, because this season we lose a lot of people during this time of year. I lost my mother. Lost her this time of year. She died 3 days after Christmas. My grandmother died on Christmas Day. My best friend, one of my best friends, she had a terminal stroke 3 days after Christmas one year and passed away a week later. So it's a tough time, and I'm sure all of you, there's so many funerals, and then you start to remember people and think and reminisce. And so we're gonna have a show that deals with how do you deal with the grief. We're gonna have a show talk about how not to shop till you drop. we're gonna have some great things coming up. But I want to share this testimony. So I was out. I want to thank everybody that participated. Before I give this story, participated in the pantries. SNAP benefits got cut and was held up. And we had a press conference at Bethel Baptist Church Pantry, Dr. Brian Walker. And we had several pastors show up. NAACP stood with us as well, standing up saying, hey, excuse me, I'm sneezing. All right. Standing up saying, hey, we got to do something. People have to eat, and this is the wrong thing to do. And we're able to get the governor to, we encouraged him and others as well. And he did do an executive order. It wasn't enough money, but he did an executive order. And then God put on my heart to say, hey, we got to get this 513 relief bus, because that's what it was all about. That's how it all began. That's how the idea all came about, because during COVID, I was out and we were trying to get food out, getting food to people and those kind of things. So the 513 relief bus was created once I got elected. So we said, let's do a mobile pantry with the pastors who have pantries. So they already have pantries. They're helping people, but now we got to help more. And so we went and had a partnership with the 513 Relief Mobile Pantry for the first time. And we were able to have some funding. We had one fund with the Freestyle Food Bank, but then we had a different fund for helping these churches and partnerships. And so as you can, those who were watching, you could see, we were out for 9 days straight. Shout out to the 513 Relief Bus team. Kicked it off at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church. And it was snowing that day. I don't know if y'all remember. And I was out there, and we partnered with them, and the church had done gift cards in addition, and we had additional food. So we were able to feed additional families, additional 250 families that we were able to help out with. We went all the way through. We went to Mount Healthy. We went to Jones in Avondale, Greater New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. Our show was live from Goodies with our great friend over at Mount Healthy, and he and First Lady at their church. And then we were scheduled to go and have my show on Friday at Bethel Baptist, where we all started. We were going to end up at Bethel Baptist, Dr. Brian Walker, and we had the 513 relief bus, and we had the food, and he had extra, and he went all out. All of the churches went all out, and we were giving out the food, helping people. And I got to hear from him. So we have helped, families, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of families we were able to help with this effort. Now, I want to thank my father, Dr. Stephen Reece Sr., who hosted my show, because what I didn't expect, what I didn't know was happening, was that I had to rush myself to the hospital on November 20th. So while we were putting all this together, we're helping the people. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you so much for letting this happen, giving me the idea, giving the right people. We're helping people. I had no idea that I was sick inside my body, and I had no idea. So God made it where one day I woke up in the middle of the night and I was throwing up for 4 hours. I said, I'm going to go from 12 to 4. If it keeps going, I'm going to the hospital. It stopped at 4 a.m. I said, okay, boom, that's good. I'll just eat some chicken noodle soup. I'm good. Went on out. I'm in Mount Healthy. We're giving out food. We're doing our thing. I wake up again at 12 midnight. Now I can't breathe. And I said, man, I can't breathe. And I remember they said something about my gallbladder. So I just Googled it. Gallbladder not breathing. And it had something like, don't lay down, because if you lay down, it could be, fatal. It could cut off your air pocket, blah, blah, blah. Get to the hospital. I said, boy, I can't breathe. It kept getting worse. So I said, I better get to the hospital. Drove myself to the hospital, get to the hospital. When I get there, they said, wait a minute. We got to have surgery. And I said, what? We got to take your liver out. We got not your liver. We got to take your gallbladder out. And I said, okay. But I am thinking naive. I said, well, if we do it Thursday morning, I got to be at the library. Shout out to the library for showing our documentary in Forest Park. And thank you, everybody that was there. I want to thank my team, Veda, Jackie, been holding it down in the office. Thank y'all so much. Romaine and Avery and Aziza for making sure we get the documentary going. And I want to thank the team here at my radio team, Aziza, Christian, and Antonio. Thank you so much. So I'm like, listen, can we have this surgery early, and I could maybe they could wheel me into the libraries, because I'm supposed to be there and they looking for me. And they played along. Like, well, we'll see. I get in there to surgery, and y'all, it was bad. I had gangrene in my body. I could have died anytime. I'm out here giving out food, ain't thinking that, I was a little tired, but I thought it was just I'm a little tired. I get in there, and one of the stones had gotten so big, they said was almost bigger than a gallbladder. So now they got to stab me. They got to try to get it out. So they stab it. But of course, I don't feel it. I'm under anesthesia. And they said it was going toward the liver, had it attached to the liver. It might not have been good for me. So I come out of surgery. I find out that I looked, I said, my dad, they said, yeah, he was here. He made sure he's on his way to Forest Park. I said, what? They left me. I'm supposed to go to Forest Park. And that's because I didn't know what it all had transpired. And just thinking how I'm thinking, instead of being thankful to God that I'm alive, I'm up here trying to get to the next thing because I made a promise to the people. And then I told them, no, because Friday, will I be out of here on Friday morning? Because I got to get down there and do my show. We got the bus coming. We're supposed to help the people. It's at Bethel Baptist, and I got to be there. They said, "No, you ain't gonna make it over to Bethel Baptist," because the next day infection had gotten into my body from the surgery, and they didn't know what was going to happen to me. And so they were trying things and different things so I could get better. So I finally surrendered. Alicia Reece is not trying to get out of here right now. I'm going to get out when I'm supposed to get out. I'm going to get out when God says I'm going to get out. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. I'm going to release. I got a team that I do walkthroughs and I've trained, and I got to let it go. I got to let it go. Veda and Jackie, y'all up. Romaine, out there, you up. Y'all up. Bethel, Dr. Walker, we done been over here. Y'all up. Pastor Joe said, don't you worry. We got it over here. Everything. We going to make sure we help the people and keep it going. And we had put the blueprint together, but I had to throw my hands up and surrender because God has set me down. And I started to pray. And Dr. Keith Melvin, I want to thank all the doctors, all the surgeons, all the nurses. I want to thank y'all. But Dr. Melvin, my doctor, came in and said, I want to sit and talk to you for a second. And everybody had to, leave. And he said, I want to tell you, did you know you had gangrene and you could have died anytime? We wouldn't even known you had gangrene had we not done the surgery. Did you know that the gallbladder, your stone was bigger than the gallbladder on its way to attach itself to the liver? And it was hard to get out. And if it had gotten to the liver, again, you might have been talking to Walker, not about a pantry, but possibly a funeral arrangement. He said, don't you know that there's infection in you right now? We trying to get it out. So I want you to understand what God has done and what your body has been through. Now, on that same day, November 20th, they had put on the calendar at the last minute the property tax. So Alicia Reece wasn't there because I was rushed I was on the operating table fighting for my life. And they were talking about the property tax. They said, oh, Alicia Reece not there. Where is she? Alicia Reece didn't come. She should have been here. Where's she supposed to be? And I felt bad. But I was on the operating table. So now I'm there for a whole week. I've never been in no hospital no whole week. A whole week. And I just want to thank my sister, Tiffany, because I got to have some place to go to take care of me. And my brother-in-law and my nieces let me come over there because I had to have somewhere to go if they released me. And my father up there and said, hey, everybody get together. We got to have a plan. We're going to have 55 doctors coming telling her 55 different things. We need a plan. But he also told me when he found out the facts, and you can imagine what my family thought, because my mother went in the hospital around this time for the final time, and when she came out, it was hospice. So it's a lot of flashback for my family. My brother, he's nervous, calling and FaceTiming, and he want to be FaceTimed in the surgery. You can't be FaceTimed in the surgery. And I was supposed to be down to see my nephew play one of his first tournament games at LSU. And we're supposed to be down in Destin, Florida, and I was supposed to cook. He talked about the macaroni and cheese. He loved for me to make it. I'm so glad my sister-in-law can make it now, so I don't have to do it. My brother-in-law, he's looking for my smothered pork chops, but my sister said, just sit in the chair and tell me how to do it. And she did an excellent job for Thanksgiving. She had to do everything. I didn't think I was going to get out for Thanksgiving. I said, okay, whatever they say, I'm going to do. Because Dr. Melvin has whipped me into shape for what God did for me. So, miracle, I got out the day before Thanksgiving to be able to be with my family. And when they said they're going to vote on property taxes, I wasn't supposed to be down there. I went down there with sweatpants on and a blazer. Because I said, if the people can save my life, I can go down here and try to help these people save theirs. And so I went down there, and you can go to my page, Alicia Reece, County Commissioner. Look, Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reece. See the speech, see what I said. And I stood up for people. The man who took my blood said, will you please go stand up so I could save my house. A nurse said, man, I got to hold on to my house. I said, if they can try to keep me alive, I can go fight for them. And so that's what we tried to do. So again, there's tough times out here. People going through everything. You're going through stuff. I got stuff I go through. We're human beings. But I'm going to do everything I can. I told them if I had to have a gurney on, I'm going down there to fight for the homeowners to help grandma hold on to her house. And we tried to do that. I still got to take it easy. I'm not 100%. But thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your calls and texts when you finally did find out. But this is a testimony from God. And I guess he's not through with me yet. But I'm going to do what he tells me to do. So thank y'all so much. God bless you. We got through this show, my first show out of the hospital. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. Keep the fight up and keep the prayers up. God bless you.